Say I'm gonna be reacting to Tyler the Creator calls out the underground, and I haven't heard anything on like social media or anything. I haven't talked about it. So my first thing, like, oh, bro. So I'm first hearing about this through this video, pretty much. So I'm just gonna play this. So, hey.
So, Tyler the Creator recently went on a podcast or interview or something and threw shots at what fans are pinning as multiple rappers. A lot of underground fans think he's talking about Opium, Netspend, or Osama Sun, Ian, and Laserdom, which I think is a huge stretch, but hey, it's a slow news day, so I'll entertain it. But the people that he seems to really be quote-unquote dissing is Lil Yachty and Ice Spice, so I'll get into that too. But before we do any of that, let's break down his statement. So what did Tyler the Creator say? He said, there are a lot of artists out there right now who are putting out meme records and they're being treated as real musicians.
And there's so many out right
But okay, nah, real shit though. That is true though. But wouldn't say there's everybody come out right now, but like a lot of people, yeah.
now that aren't musicians that are getting treated like musicians because they make meme records.
So first of all, there's a little bit of like irony because he said meme records, and whenever someone refers to a song as a record, it's usually like a serious song. So like you would never call like and this is no offense to Summers, but you would never call like a Summers song a record. You'd never be like, oh wow, that record was beautiful. Mostly because his fans are all like teenagers, but still, I don't know, it would just feel weird to say something like that. But anyways, I don't think I've ever heard anyone call like an Ugly God song a record or any meme rapper's song a record. Anyways, number one, it's very clear he's not talking about actual meme rappers here, and it is kind of like a slight towards somebody. We just don't know who. Because number one, meme rap in and of itself is dead. There aren't really like meme rappers out right now. However, in the underground,
There's still like Miles and shit. Like I remember back there was like Lil Boom and like before he was like a weirdo and shit. But like there's still definitely meme rappers right now. There's a lot. I've seen like a whole lot of them. Like especially like Miles, yeah.
And even in the mainstream, there's some artists who aren't exactly where they are right now because of their musicianship. What's very ironic about this is Tyler the Creator, when he first dropped Goblin, by the way, that was like his breakout album or tape or whatever, that's what people looked at as him. Yo, dude, but he wasn't really respected as like a musician.
Oh no, real shit, bro. I know, I'm gonna be honest though, like when I first heard Tyler's music, bro, like I did not take that shit seriously at all. Cause like that's why I didn't really understand like, no, cause that was when I was only listening to music that only sounded like very well mixed and everything, and you know what I mean. Cause I didn't really understand like the whole like avant-garde type of shit. You know what I mean? So yeah. So I thought his music sounded really dumb at first, but later on, like then he became one of my favorite artists for real.
Music was like weird and he was seen as this funny dude, and even now he's still seen as like a funny guy. Of course, everyone respects him. So anyways, let's get into it. Number one, and this was kind of surprising to me, a lot of people really saw Ian as like one of the people he was dissing. Dazed Within replied with Ian and it got 200 likes. First of all, that was like a meme album cover that he replied with. But I guess since Ian uses so much like meme marketing in his music, and I guess this is a whole existence is kind of like a meme, he kind of counts. So let's talk about it. Number one, is Ian not a real musician? I wouldn't say so. He's doing what every other one of these like SoundCloud underground rappers do. Hop on a mic, punch in, say a couple lines, this or that, nothing too deep, on a kind of unique beat and just doing his thing. Of course, Ian has a big label, Columbia, backing him, and a couple TikTok songs, and he's doing big things.
I don't think he was talking about Ian in that. I don't think that would be like a very perfect example of this, but he's definitely more talking about like people like probably like Netspend or like Miles or like Ice Spice or some shit. Probably not Ian.
So does he really fall into this pool of like meme artists that aren't known for their musicianship? I would just say that it's good marketing. So let's cross him off the list. Another person people were saying is Netspend. And the guy in particular said, so stop hyping up Osama Sun, Netspend, Ian, Laserdom, etc. They some of the biggest offenders. Okay, so I don't really.
These niggas
this
some
is
haters,
just
bro.
This is like an ignorant response, I would say, because think about it. None of those guys are like meme rappers, but clearly, or even put out meme songs, but clearly this guy doesn't respect their musicianship, right? And I'm not gonna go out and say.
I think there's just that same cycle of like whenever okay, well hold on. I think there's just a new cycle of when like there's a new era of artists that come around, right? And like it's gonna sound really dumb to everybody, right? Especially the older heads from like the generation before, right? I think that's just what's going on again, because people thought the same thing about the SoundCloud era when that first came out. Like, no one took any of those SoundCloud rappers seriously at all. Like, and then later on, we look back at that time and be like, that was an iconic time. You know what I mean? So it's definitely gonna be that same shit for this. That's how I like look at this new era for real. I don't really think it's like them not taking music seriously. It's just the way music's going. You know what I mean? It's just gonna keep going in that direction. But like in the future, it's gonna be seen as something iconic. You know what I mean? Yeah.
These guys are like crazy musicians, but they're also not meme rappers. Like, I enjoy all their music, right? So let's break it down one by one. And I'm gonna start with Netsben. So I can see why someone older wouldn't be into his music. Is it a meme record? No. But what Tyler the Creator said is people are respecting them like they're real musicians. Honestly, people do not respect Netsben as a real musician. It's kind of fucked up to say, but he doesn't have like a ton of respect.
Some people do.
He just has a
though.
lot of hype around his name. So I would say, doesn't really count. Osama-san, you could say all the same things, just more respect, and not a meme rapper at all. Now, Laserdym. Laserdym is a very good contestant for this argument, and you could really think, yo, is this guy a meme rapper or no? I would say Laserdym is not a meme rapper, but you could kind of say it because people just look at him as like a funny guy who makes like kind of funny music. I'm not gonna say his music is funny, like he has hard songs, but I don't think people play Laserdym more than like one song at a time, if that makes sense.
Sometimes I'd be playing his music like all the time, bro. Cause I'll hear like one Laser song, they'll have to hear like 10 after for real. Or maybe that's just me, but I'd be fucking with his music though. But I understand why people think he's a meme though.
I think people just like listen to some of his music because the production is very harsh. It's clearly not for everyone, and a lot of his songs are funny. Like, you know what I mean? He blew up for like funny lyrics and I'm gonna just say his unique style, if that makes sense. But once again, not exactly like a meme rapper. And I don't think anyone thinks of him as like this crazy musician. So I would actually knock out all of these artists, and you could even say somebody like Dave Blunt. But if you actually look at Dave Blunt's music, it's all about like real situations in his life, and most of the music is pretty hard. I'm not gonna lie, like he got some bangers. And if you listen to his music, it's not really like meme rapper music, if that's what you get what I'm saying.
On some real shit though, I see Dave Blunt's music as way more of a meme than Laserdym, to be completely honest. Maybe that's just me, but I see Dave Blunt's music way more as a meme.
Artists really fall under that bucket, but yeah,
it's like he just reminds me of a new version of like Jaleel or like Mario Judah. You know what I mean? Like that's what I get. I get that same vibe from Dave. I get that same vibe from Dave Blunt more than like any other underground rappers right now, to be completely honest.
I think any of them are meme rappers. Anyways, on to who he was probably like actually talking about. So there are two people in particular, and I'm gonna explain why they could be. So Lil Yachty and Ice Spice. So the reason he said why I'm saying Lil Yachty is because one of the things he said in that clip was a lot of these rappers are straight up saying, I don't even like this, I just do it for money. And I believe Lil Yachty, out of either insecurity, just wanting to flex, or even just outright admitting he does rap for money, has flexed how much money he's made in his first year and just how much richer he is than your favorite rapper. So I think Tyler the Creator might be talking about him. Now, in terms of who hip-hop,
he's definitely not talking about Yachty, to be bro. Like him, he's always praised Lil Yachty in interviews and everything. You know, they've been like friends and shit. No, he's definitely not talking about Yachty in that.
Respects more. I wouldn't put either over the other. Actually, I would put Tyler over Lil Yachty because I don't think Lil Yachty has a lot of respect from overall hip hop fans, and Tyler is just more accomplished and more polished of an artist. So makes sense. But neither of them are very like respected by just hip hop in general. The other thing about Lil Yachty is he hasn't been putting out like seriously good music in so long. Out of every like 10 songs he puts out, like 20, there'll be like one you'll like. Like for example, I believe one year he had Coffin, then he had Poland. And I'll give you an example of like people not really respecting Lil Yachty. His song with Drake, I believe it was called like SOD. They previewed it on Kai Cenat. Like the moment Lil Yachty's part came, I was like, yo, turn this shit off. And that was it. And even like his song with Ian, you know, people weren't really messing with his part that either. So that's why it kind of confuses me, because I don't even think people give Lil Yachty that much respect. However, some people do, so there's that. You know what I mean? And he's also bragged about how much money he's made, so maybe.
I feel like most people respect okay, I feel like people don't respect Yachty for his talent, really. I think it's more just about like what he tries to do with his music and like him trying to do like a different approach every time. And just by like everything else besides his actual music is what people respect Yachty for. It's kind of the same thing with Cardi. You know what I mean? Yeah. I feel like Lil Yachty is more like that. That's more the reason why people respect him. Not really because of his music.
Fits into that. But there's one person who everyone thinks is like the main culprit. But then again, I don't think there's one person. I think he's talking about people as a group, and he's just kind of like calling out a couple people in his head. So I don't think there's one person that specifically fits the bill for every single thing he said. And that's why I'm thinking that it's Lil Yachty and Ice Spice. So the second one I was thinking about is Ice Spice, like I just said. And the reason for that, and this one's obvious, number one, Ice Spice, nobody is listening to Ice Spice like that. Like, you don't find people hopping in the car and saying, yo, put on that new Ice Spice. I feel like Ice Spice has been rinsing through singles over and over as long as she could. So she started off with Munch, and you know, people were quoting the lyrics to that song, and then she found another one, like I think it was called In Her Mood or something, and then she got a couple more. I think one of them was like, you think you the you're not even the fart, and she would go to concerts and this and that, and she'd just be shaking her ass, and that's what she was known for, really. And she got a Taylor Swift feature. By the way, the reason for this is super funny. Basically, one of Taylor Swift's ex-boyfriends who she was dating at the time.
But nah, real shit though. I see Ice Spice more as like just a celebrity than like an actual rapper, to be completely honest. Like, I'd be forgetting she even makes music sometimes, like on some real shit. Like,
talk shit about Ice Spice on a podcast, and Ice Spice has a Nicki Minaj and Megan Thee Stallion co-sign, so that means their stands fuck with Ice Spice a lot. So they started attacking Taylor Swift, and then they're like, oh my god, this is a horrible PR nightmare, like how dare you gotta understand Ice Spice is black. So there are all these like racial lines that start getting like played into it. So it's like, what the hell? And she got her a feature on one of like Taylor Swift's songs. It's like, whoa, what the hell? And you know, good for her. So that was a huge co-sign. So Ice Spice is like this big, and you know, once again, this comes back to the respect, and you know, just me, myself, and no offense, I don't really respect Ice Spice as like a musician. You know, I don't really like, she's decent at rapping, like she can make like, I'm not saying she's not capable of putting out a song that would do well, but she's clearly not like Tame Impala, if that makes sense. But I guess Tyler the Creator is just frustrated that these artists are being treated as if they're serious artists like him. So this is kind of like a pick me thing, like, you know, but at the end of the day, I'll just say this. And by the way, I just think Ice Spice,
that's just how music's going, to be completely honest. Like, bro, it's gonna seem way less serious as we grow up. It's gonna just become way more trashier and shit. Then it's just gonna be seen as a new sound to like the people in that generation.
it's this most
like, it's not gonna be seen as something
like,
trash.
her ass is like 80% of her career. No offense. The other 20% is her shaking. I'm just kidding. I'm joking. But yeah, she definitely fits the bill the most, this whole thing. But yeah, clearly Tyler the Creator is unhappy that some artists are getting more recognition than others, and it's not because of their music, and they're being respected as much as others, and they're taking the spots of people like his or him. Well, bad news is that it's only gonna get worse, because it seems like the way artists are marketing themselves and the way they're coming out is becoming more and more extreme. And to stand out, you just can't be normal. You just gotta be like super talented. You gotta have like some sort of contrast, or you gotta have something about you, and it's not really the music 9 times out of 10. Of course, maybe Spotify blows you up and you get lucky or this or that, and I don't know, maybe like you're rich. People don't like that either. Then you're an industry plant. So it is what it is. Good news though, I feel like people like Tyler who do praise or really crave like, you know, high level craftsmanship and musicianship, they're not going anywhere, and I don't think those people really respect people like Ice Spice or Lil Yachty even, or Laserdisc, or you know what I mean? So at the end of the day, and that's not disses towards any of those artists, this is what it is. I feel like it's two different types of people, two different types of fans, and just how it goes. Anyways, that was my little yap sesh. Let me know what you think. Is Tyler the Creator just hating? Is he projecting because people don't really respect him that much? Is he totally right? Do these artists have to go? I don't know. You tell me. Anyways, thanks for watching. Have a nice day. See you tomorrow. Bye.
No, that's just a new generation, bro. It's gonna keep being like that. That's just how like shit works.